is the desktop operating system market share worldwide chart, and the red indicates Linux steadily increasing. Compare that to the blue Windows.
December 2025. Asus, the world's fourth largest PC manufacturer, makes a shocking announcement at their annual investor meeting. Starting Q1 2026, Asus will reduce Windows 11 pre-installation to just 15% of their consumer laptop and desktop lineup. The remaining 85% will ship with Linux, specifically Ubuntu and Fedora, as default operating systems. This is the final domino. Dell made the switch in May, HP in July, Lenovo in March, now Asus. All four of the world's largest PC manufacturers have abandoned Windows as their default operating system. Asus isn't being subtle about why. Their CEO, Johnny Shi, stated bluntly, Windows 11 has become unsupportable. Customer satisfaction is 38% for Windows models versus 81% for Linux models. Return rates are 4.7 times higher for Windows. Support costs are 6.2 times higher. And Microsoft's quality control has collapsed so completely that we can no longer trust Windows updates won't break our customers' computers. We cannot continue selling products that damage our brand reputation. Linux is reliable, Windows 11 is not. The choice is obvious. That's the most direct public criticism of Windows by a major manufacturer ever. Asus didn't diplomatically cite strategic direction or market opportunities. They explicitly said Windows 11 is too broken to sell. Microsoft's response was panicked damage control, but the damage is irreversible. The entire PC industry has rejected Windows, and Bill Gates, watching the operating system he created become unsellable due to Microsoft's negligence, is reportedly furious. Not just disappointed, furious, because this was entirely preventable. Microsoft destroyed Windows through greed and incompetence, and Gates knows it. The Asus data that justified the decision.
Windows 10, Microsoft has made a lot of their users very angry. Microsoft's Windows 11 is facing a significant adoption crisis. Recent data shows adoption rates for Windows 11 are at only...
Asus didn't make this decision impulsively. They ran comprehensive analysis comparing Windows 11 versus Linux across every business metric. The data overwhelmingly favored Linux. Customer satisfaction was most striking. Asus surveyed 67,000 customers who bought laptops between January and October 2025. Half bought Windows models, half bought Linux models. Asus started offering Linux options in March 2025 after Dell's success. Windows 11 customer satisfaction. 38% rated experience as excellent or good. 62% rated it fair or poor. Linux customer satisfaction. 81% rated experience as excellent or good. Only 19% rated it fair or poor. That's 43 percentage point gap. Massive difference. When Asus analyzed why, the reasons were consistent. Windows customers complained about forced updates, mentioned by 67%, slow performance after updates, 54%, privacy concerns, 48%, bloatware, 43%, and system instability, 41%. Linux customers praised speed and reliability, mentioned by 78%, no forced updates, 71%, privacy respect, 68%, clean pre-installation, 62%, and boot speed, 59%. Return rates told even starker story. Windows 11 laptops, 11.8% returned within 30 days. Linux laptops, 2.5% returned, nearly 5 times difference. Asus loses money on every return. Processing, refurbishing, reselling at discount, at $73 average cost per return, Windows returns cost Asus $8.61 per laptop sold. Linux returns cost $1.83 per laptop sold. On 18 million consumer PCs annually, that's $122 million. Windows return costs versus $33 million Linux return costs. Switching to Linux saves Asus $89 million annually just in return processing. Support costs were catastrophic for Windows. Asus's support data showed Windows laptops generated 2.8 support calls per unit over average 3-year lifecycle. Linux laptops generated 0.45 support calls, more than 6 times difference. Average support call costs Asus $28 to resolve. Windows, $78.40 support cost per laptop over lifecycle. Linux, $12.60. On 18 million units, that's $1.41 billion. Windows support costs versus $227 million Linux support costs. Switching to Linux saves Asus $1.18 billion annually in support operations. Hardware costs also favored Linux. Windows 11's requirements forced Asus to use specific components. TPM chips, recent generation processors, 8 GB plus RAM, faster storage. Linux has no such requirements. Asus can use whatever hardware makes economic sense. The component flexibility saves $41 per laptop on average. Multiply by 18 million. $738 million annual savings. Add everything, $89 million return savings, plus $1.18 billion support savings, plus $738 million hardware savings, plus zero Windows licensing costs. Saves approximately $63 per unit, equals $1.13 billion. Total annual savings from switching to Linux, $3.14 billion. That's pure margin improvement. Asus's consumer PC division generates approximately $14 billion annual revenue. $3.14 billion savings increases margin by 22.4 percentage points. That's transformative for business profitability. The customer testimonials that sealed it.
Are you wondering if the Asus ZenBook 13 works well?
Beyond raw data, Asus collected qualitative feedback. Customer testimonials from Linux laptop buyers were overwhelmingly positive. These quotes appeared in Asus's investor presentation. I bought Asus ZenBook with Ubuntu, expecting it to be compromised. It's actually better than Windows. Faster, more stable. Battery lasts 3 hours longer. I'm never going back to Windows. Michael, Germany. My previous laptop was Windows 11. Constant problems. Updates breaking things, forced restarts. My new Asus with Linux has zero problems. It just works, every time. That's all I wanted. Sarah, United States. I'm not technical person. I was nervous about Linux. Asus made it so easy. Everything I need is there. Netflix, Spotify, email, documents, and it's so much faster than my old Windows laptop. Priya, India. Best decision was buying Linux laptop. No Microsoft account forced on me. No OneDrive uploading my files without asking. No Edge constantly nagging to be default. My computer is mine again. Yuki, Japan. I bought this for my 70-year-old mother. She's not tech savvy. Linux is actually simpler for her than Windows was. No confusing privacy settings, no update interruptions. She just turns it on and it works. Carlos, Brazil. The testimonials showed Linux isn't just for technical users anymore. Regular people, non-technical consumers, elderly users, people who just want computers that work, prefer Linux when given proper implementation. Asus's Linux laptops aren't hobbyist experiments. They're polished, professional products with excellent user experience. That's why customer satisfaction is 81%. Windows testimonials were opposite. Asus didn't include many in their presentation because they were too negative, but leaked internal documents showed representative complaints. Windows 11 updated overnight and broke my Wi-Fi. Couldn't work for 3 days waiting for Microsoft to fix it. Missed deadlines, lost client. I hate this operating system. Every update makes computer slower. It's been 8 months since I bought this laptop and it's already sluggish. My previous laptop with Linux was still fast after 4 years. I feel spied on constantly. Windows asking to use my location, uploading diagnostics, suggesting things I don't want. It's invasive and creepy. Forced updates restarted my computer during important presentation. Embarrassing, unprofessional, unacceptable. This is my last Windows device. These aren't cherry-picked outliers. These represent mainstream Windows 11 user experience. Frustration, distrust, regret. Asus recognized that associating their brand with these experiences damages Asus's reputation. Better to sell Linux laptops customers love than Windows laptops customers hate.
The Asus CEO's unprecedented public criticism.
Microsoft and on the Windows team is that the quality control of the updates is really not well.
Johnny Shee's statements at the investor meeting were remarkably direct. PC manufacturers usually maintain diplomatic relationships with Microsoft. Criticizing Windows publicly is rare. She broke that norm completely. His full statement, "We must be honest with investors and customers. Windows 11 has become liability for Asus. Microsoft's quality control has collapsed. Updates break more than they fix. Customer complaints are overwhelming. Our support costs are unsustainable. Our brand reputation suffers when we sell products customers hate. We tried working with Microsoft to address these issues. They're unresponsive. They prioritize their AI features and cloud services over basic operating system reliability. That's their choice. Our choice is to sell products customers want and trust. That's Linux, not Windows 11." He continued, "Some will say this is risky strategy. I disagree. Dell, HP, and Lenovo made same choice. Their Linux products are succeeding. Customer satisfaction is high. Return rates are low. Support costs are manageable. Profitability is excellent. The risk is continuing to sell Windows 11 while pretending it's acceptable product when data clearly shows it's not. That's dishonest to customers and shareholders. We're being honest. Windows 11 is broken. Linux works. We're selling what works." When asked about Microsoft's response, she was equally direct. "Microsoft offered us free Windows licenses to continue pre-installation. We declined. Free Windows still costs us money in support, returns, and brand damage. Even at zero licensing cost, Linux is more profitable because customers are happier. Microsoft doesn't seem to understand that no discount compensates for selling products customers dislike. We'd rather sell fewer laptops that customers love than more laptops that customers regret buying." The statements went viral immediately. Tech media coverage was universal. Asus CEO says Windows 11 is too broken to sell. Asus publicly slams Microsoft's quality control. Asus chooses Linux over Windows due to reliability failures. The public criticism from major manufacturer CEO was unprecedented. Microsoft's PR nightmare intensified. The Microsoft panic that revealed desperation. Microsoft's initial response was standard corporate denial. Press release. Windows 11 is used by hundreds of millions of satisfied customers globally. We're confident in Windows quality and value proposition. We respect Asus's business decisions and look forward to continued partnership in enterprise and gaming segments. Translation: we're pretending this isn't crisis while panicking internally. Leaked internal Microsoft emails showed real reaction. From Windows division head to executive team, Asus's public statements are devastating. They didn't just choose Linux. They explicitly said Windows 11 is too broken to sell. That's branding disaster. Every PC manufacturer will feel pressure to make similar statements now. We need crisis response immediately. Another leaked email from Microsoft's OEM partnerships team. Asus was our last major partner, still primarily Windows focused. Now they're 85% Linux. We've lost all 4 top manufacturers as Windows first partners. Consumer Windows business is collapsing. Revenue projections need immediate revision downward. Microsoft's panic showed in their retaliation attempts. They threatened to terminate Asus's Windows gaming and enterprise licensing agreements. Asus called the bluff immediately. Told Microsoft, if they terminate those agreements, Asus will recommend Linux for gaming. Steam Deck proved it works. And Linux for enterprise. Multiple successful deployments exist. Microsoft backed down within 48 hours. Couldn't risk Asus actively promoting Linux alternatives for gaming and enterprise, too. Microsoft then tried offering Asus $500 million in marketing development funds to reverse the decision. Asus declined. Their CFO explained in interview, $500 million sounds significant, but Linux saves us $3 billion annually. Microsoft would need to pay us $2 billion annually to make Windows economically neutral. They can't afford that. And even if they could, it wouldn't fix customer satisfaction and support cost problems. Linux is better business regardless of subsidies. The retail transformation that accelerates everything.
The second reason to use Linux is because it's free. Not only can you try different Linux distros, they will also not cost you a single cent, which is definitely a
Global retailers responded to Asus's announcement enthusiastically. Best Buy immediately adjusted store layouts, allocated 70% of laptop display space to Linux models across all brands, Windows relegated to 30%. Best Buy's CEO explained in earnings call, "Our customers want Linux laptops. Return rates are dramatically lower. Customer satisfaction is higher. Our operations benefit from fewer returns and support issues. We're giving customers what they want." Walmart went further, announced they're phasing out Windows laptops entirely from physical stores. "Our customers are price sensitive. Linux laptops are $150 to $200 cheaper with better performance and reliability. Why would we stock Windows laptops that cost more and create more returns? Linux laptops are better value for our customers." Walmart will still sell Windows laptops online for customers who specifically want them, but in-store, Linux only by February 2026. European retailers made similar moves. MediaMarkt, Currys, Fnac all expanded Linux laptop sections dramatically. Reduced Windows space, the retail floor transformation reflects consumer preference. When given choice, customers choose Linux at increasing rates. Retailers are responding to that demand. Asian retailers are even more aggressive. Japan's Bic Camera and Yodobashi Camera featured Linux laptops exclusively in holiday 2025 marketing. South Korea's major electronics retailers gave Linux laptops 75% of display space. China's JD.com and Tmall show Linux laptops dominating bestseller lists. Windows laptops appear on lists, but ranks are declining steadily. The retail transformation creates self-reinforcing cycle. Retailers promote Linux because customers prefer it. More customers buy Linux because that's what's promoted. More positive reviews accumulate. Linux becomes default choice. Windows becomes niche option. Microsoft can't stop this. They don't control retail. They don't control customer preference. They're losing both. The developer ecosystem that makes it viable.
With Linux, you can deep-load it so much that it just becomes text. Isn't that pretty?
Asus's Linux push succeeds because developer ecosystem matured dramatically. 5 years ago, Linux lacked software for mainstream users. Not anymore. Every major application has excellent Linux version or web-based alternative. Productivity. Microsoft Office works via browser. Google Workspace is native. LibreOffice handles offline documents. Notion, Evernote, Obsidian, all work perfectly on Linux. Email clients are sophisticated. Calendar integrations work seamlessly. For 95% of users, productivity software needs are fully met on Linux. Creative. Adobe offers web-based Photoshop and Lightroom. GIMP provides desktop alternative. DaVinci Resolve runs natively on Linux. Many professionals prefer it to Adobe Premiere. Blender, for 3D, is native Linux application. Inkscape replaces Illustrator. Krita is excellent for digital painting. Creative professionals can work entirely on Linux now. Gaming. Steam's Proton compatibility layer runs 78% of top 1,000 games on Linux. That percentage grows weekly. Native Linux games include Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, most indie games. Heroic Games Launcher runs Epic Games Store titles. Lutris handles GOG games. Gaming on Linux is viable for majority of gamers. Competitive esports players still prefer Windows for specific titles, but casual and mainstream gamers, Linux works fine. Development. Linux is preferred platform for developers. Better tools, more control, closer to production environments. Most web development happens on Linux. Python, Node, .js, Go, Rust, all have superior Linux tooling. Docker runs natively. Kubernetes too. For developers, Linux isn't compromise, it's optimal platform. Asus recognized that software availability isn't Linux barrier anymore. The barrier was manufacturer support and retail distribution. Asus providing both. Pre-installing Linux, configuring everything, ensuring drivers work, providing support, making it easy for non-technical users. That's what was missing. Asus filled that gap. Now, Linux is accessible to everyone, not just technical users. Where this stands. January 2026. All 4 largest PC manufacturers have made Linux default. Dell at 50% Linux, HP at 40%, Lenovo at 35%, Asus at 85%. Weighted average, 52% of global PC manufacturing capacity is now Linux default. Windows is minority operating system in new PC sales for first time since 1988. Microsoft's consumer Windows licensing revenue is collapsing, was $22 billion in 2023, projected $8 billion in 2027. That's 64% decline in 4 years. Bill Gates is furious. Windows was his creation, his legacy, the product that brought personal computing to the world. Current Microsoft leadership destroyed it through negligence and misplaced priorities. Prioritized AI features over reliability. Prioritized cloud revenue over user experience. Prioritized shipping fast over shipping quality. Every decision sacrificed Windows for other business priorities. The result is manufacturers publicly stating Windows is too broken to sell. The collapse was preventable. Microsoft could have maintained quality standards, could have respected users, could have made updates optional instead of forced, could have tested thoroughly before shipping, could have prioritized user trust over monetization. They chose not to. Every choice prioritized Microsoft's short-term revenue over Windows' long-term viability. Now, Windows is dying, not slowly, rapidly. 4 years from 82% market share to minority platform. Asus's decision was the final validation. The last major Windows first manufacturer gave up, made Linux default, publicly criticized Windows quality, chose profitability and customer satisfaction over Microsoft partnership. Microsoft has no major consumer PC partners anymore. The OEM channel that built Windows dominance is gone. Manufacturers are selling Linux because customers prefer it and it's more profitable. Microsoft can't offer enough subsidies to change that economic reality. If this showed you Asus slashing Windows support, share it, because Microsoft won't advertise their last major PC partner went 85% Linux. That Asus's CEO said Windows 11 is too broken to sell. That customer satisfaction is 38% for Windows versus 81% for Linux. That return rates are 4.7 times higher for Windows. That support costs are 6.2 times higher. That manufacturers save $3.14 billion annually by switching to Linux. That retailers are allocating 70% of space to Linux laptops. That Bill Gates is furious at Satya Nadella for destroying Windows through quality neglect. The PC industry rejected Windows, chose Linux, and Microsoft's consumer Windows business is collapsing. All 4 dominoes fell. Windows era is over. Linux era begins. And Bill Gates rages watching his creation destroyed by Microsoft leadership that stopped caring about quality. That's Asus's Linux push. That's Windows collapse. That's the end of 40-year Windows dominance in PCs.